Hello Capricorn, welcome to your reading. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to start by pulling an overall energy from the Animal Oracle deck and then move into the tarot, see where we're at, see what we have for you today. Okay, wow, okay, so Elephant Spirit, learn from the past. A gorgeous card. I love this deck, it's so beautiful. What's the number? 25. Okay, learn from the past. Let's see what the tarot has to say along with that. Okay, King of Air, interesting. Okay, so we get a very heady card. Learn, but also interesting. Look at how his wings and the ears are very similar, and they even kind of match up. Yeah, they kind of go together. Okay, so there's something about that, like using our minds, using the yeah, like kind of like a recapitulation type of energy, right? Like taking some time. I'm saying R, I'm a Capricorn too. I'm a Capricorn too. So yeah, if I say R, that's why. Okay, so but using the mind to reflect, using the mind to assess. Let's see what else. And in this deck, in the Good Tarot, you know, this, because in some of my decks, you know, the King of Air, he just seems kind of judgmental and heady and like, you know, just like only in his linear mind. But in this one, he's very wise. Like he's very, very wise. And it's kind of like this too, you know, like the elephant. It's like he's been through a lot. He's older in this deck, you know, he's been through a lot. He's seen a lot. He knows a lot. He just has this wisdom. He has this understanding. There's also this kind of like swirl around his neck and the swirl around the elephant, who really doesn't even, it's just the head of the elephant, but you know, this going around his neck, it's like really emphasizing the head, right? The head, but also the consciousness, the awareness, the wisdom. Okay, so those two going together really nicely. There's also the blue right in his third eye, the blue in his third eye, and then the blue in this card. So it's more than just the linear mind, it's the intuitive mind, it's the higher mind. Higher mind. You know, and also we tap into the higher mind when, am I cutting my head off? We tap into the higher mind when we have a lot of life experience. You know, this is like an old soul card. Capricorns are old souls. It's like we've been around the block. We've been around the incarnation cycle, you know, on Earth, you know, in other galaxies, right? We've just been around. We have a lot of wisdom. We have a lot of wisdom. And when you've earned those stripes, earned those badges, you have access to that higher mind. I know I keep coming back to those, so I just keep getting more information off of them. All right, this one's jumping out, Ace of Fire, yeah. So this is my higher timeline card. Yeah, Ace of Wands, so it's like, you know, you gain access, you've gained access, Capricorn, to this higher mind, to this higher frequency, this higher timeline, when we've done enough work, and not just work, not just like have gone through our trials, but have crossed enough thresholds within those trials, because you know you'll kind of like repeat the same thing over and over and over and over again, but then you kind of jump a level, and then you might have another set over and over and over again. So it's not just the over and over and over again, it's the packages, the packages that we unlock in those trials, reaching a new level, reaching a new level, reaching a new level, until we gain access, we gain the right to have access to this higher mind, to this higher frequency. This is exciting. Let's see what else. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, this is so beautiful. Oh my God. Okay. So Justice, I have chills, and the Nine of Pentacles. It's like you've done enough karmic balancing. You've done enough of this, that you've come into the sovereignty. You know, it's like you have everything that you need right now. You have everything that you need, and it's very simple. It's like when we come into that sovereignty, we come into that balance, we discover that, you know, all we need is this flower. I mean, this is the card of like, you literally have everything that you need. You know how to take care of yourself, but at that point, the complexity collapses, and it's just the simplicity of being at home with yourself. Like that's ultimately all we need. All we need is that homecoming. And this experience and this access into the higher. It's interesting, these two cards with the orange, also I'm wearing orange. you know, so it's like that creation, that second chakra, that creation energy where it's like you have access to creation energy because you've been around long enough, you have the maturity, you have the wisdom, you have access to that higher mind. Okay, you've reached this. You know, this is like a divine timing card where things come into balance. All of a sudden, things come into balance. You've achieved a certain level of sovereignty. You've achieved this simplicity, this alignment with self. Can move into another deck here. And the Magician, yeah. So, you know, it's interesting because the Raven card came up in one of the other readings and it was presenting to me as a magician energy where it's like, so I'm associating the two of them together now because that was just earlier this week. And so, you know, it's like it's just the same exact thing I was just saying. It's like you've earned the right to access more magic. You've earned access into these higher realms, into this higher mind, into this simplistic sovereignty, which of course the truth of reality is very simple. It's very simple, it's very accessible, but because of, you know, the complexity in our world and all the distortions, and, you know, it can take forever to, you know, just like all we really have to do is take off that mask to see what's really here, but it can just take a lot of work, a lot of balancing, a lot of these trials until that mask and the truth of reality is revealed. And so this card just indicating that, like, you've earned the right, you know, like this tattoo has been on your chest this entire time, but all of a sudden it's clear to you. All of a sudden you can see it. You just couldn't see it before. Again, this mask was on, as it is for all humans, but Capricorn, the ultimate status, right? Everybody's like, oh, Capricorn, you know, when I was shuffling in the goddess deck, which I might pull from next just because I'm bringing it up, it was Nyx, it was ambition, and I thought, oh, how funny, you know, for Capricorn, because that's what everybody thinks about Capricorn, but it's like, what is the ultimate ambition at this point in human evolution is access into these higher realms, access into the higher mind, where we're able to live in accordance with divine order, we're able to live and maneuver from the direct flow of our connections. So yeah, kind of like the ultimate achievement. Okay, I'm going to do a goddess card just because I mentioned that. Oh my god, is that Nyx again? Hold on. Oh, so many fell out. I'm not going to take those. That wasn't Nyx. That was Artemis. I'm just going to take one. Okay, what do we get? Oh, the in-between, Hecate. Okay, that's interesting. That's kind of a turn. Isn't she beautiful? Okay, the in-between. Wow, that's so interesting. Because I was tuning into that energy when I was feeling into, because I knew I was going to do your reading today, and I was kind of feeling into it. And the in-between came up for me. I saw in another deck, I think it was the Flamingo Spirit, or anyway, but here's the exact same words of what I was honing in on, the in-between. So that's really interesting. So let's see what comes up after that. But obviously on one end of the spectrum, you know, are all this gorgeous energy, right, where you have access to something different. This is like a multi-dimensional card to me right now, in between, right? You have, you know, you have all this higher access on the one hand. I'm going to put these over here, and then we're going to see what's on the other side. What else is going on? Okay. Hangman. Okay. All right. So on the other hand, you're kind of on pause, although this card can have, you know, the other meaning of like you're on pause because you're gaining this enlightenment, you're having this perspective. So maybe we'll pull more cards, but it kind of is feeling in this moment that your life is a bit on pause. Well, I can relate to this because my daughter hasn't been well, and I've been away from my home because we're separated, parents are separated, and so I've been living down in this desert climate here, which I'm usually out only on the weekends. I know a lot of personal details, but anyway, my whole life has been kind of on hold because I've just been wanting to be with her, to support her through her healing. And yeah, just feeling to stay. So it's like the cosmic setup is like I'm kind of like tied up. I'm tied up in this situation. My whole routine is different. Everything's different. But what's going on is, you know, obviously a lot of this, you know, is reading for me too. So you might find something similar where you're kind of tied up in a way where you're out of your, and this is a collective energy too. I'm seeing this in a lot of the readings and just in, you know, in general with people. It's like a lot of our routine. What we're used to, whether it's a work schedule or like me, a living situation, or just habit of daily life or whatever it is, maybe, you know, the weather's changed and you can't like do some of your routines, like you can't go on your walks like you normally do because it's too hot or it's too cold or whatever. Something has changed the day to day, what we're used to, which can be a little jarring. It also kind of flips the script a little bit. It leaves us open, you know, it leaves us open because, but again, my point is that this is coming up in a lot of the readings and just expressing in different ways, but that we're in a different energy, so we're able to receive more, because when we're in our routine and we're in our kind of rote movements, then we're a little bit capped. We're less open when we're a little bit flipped on our end. It's like we have to use more of our extra sensories. We have to kind of like be more in the moment and like tune in to like, okay, what do I need to do now? What do I need to do about this situation? And it just allows for more of this. But again, what I'm really seeing is because this is a major arcana, you know, it's like the cosmic setup, the divine, you know, kind of divine intervention, divine timing of whatever the situation is. It could be really crunchy for you. It could be really uncomfortable on the physical level, but you know, or maybe you don't know. And if so, this reading is telling you that there's this going on behind it, that this is the actual point. But let's get another card on the other side there to go with the Hangman. Ooh, that's too many. I'm not taking that many. Oh gosh, I kind of want to. Nope. I lost them. I like to go slower. Sometimes the messages want to come out really fast, but I like to go slow and let them build rather than like bursts, okay? So 8 of air. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of like, and look, there's the wings again, you know. 8 of air, this is kind of like a boxed in energy. So this is, yeah, this is our daily life. This is our daily life that, you know, can keep us kind of boxed in. So this might be representing that routine. And maybe some of you are still in this routine, and maybe this sort of like change or flip is coming or being recommended in a way. You know, this is kind of like a preview if you're feeling really stuck, to like, might be a little bit of advice to just like change something up, even if it's like walk a different time of day or go drive to work in a different direction, or stop and get, you know, whatever it is, just do something different, because there might be a bit of roteness that's going on. So one message would be that, you know, just knowing that this other kind of like gorgeous energy is just kind of like waiting to come in for you, because again, you have earned access to this. But what I'm feeling more, like maybe for more of the majority of us listening, is that, you know, this has already happened. This has already happened to kind of like break this up. Let's get another one. See what else it wants to say. I keep falling. Okay. Yes. Oh, Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so here she is. Here's us. Here's Capricorn, you know, really, really good on the earth plane, master manifester. And again, it's like, okay, this is a time where, you know, and here's the in-between as well. It's like you're really anchored, you're really anchored and grounded on the earth, because that's your nature. You can't help but be that. Even if you're doing all this sort of like multi-dimensional, you know, like accessing higher realms, you know, like bringing in this higher mind stuff, okay? You're also very much on the earth plane, you know. You're also kind of dealing with, you know, whatever it is in your life that has this sort of like boxed in third dimensional quality to it. So that's kind of like me with my daughter. It's like, you know, I'm just like getting her food all day long and making sure she's doing, you know, I'm doing all those like earthy motherly things, but I'm also doing this. So maybe you're in a situation where, yeah, you're kind of in between. Maybe this is another in-between card too. We can read it that way, where it's like you're just hung up kind of between two worlds. You're walking both worlds. I'm going to do the wizard deck here. I'm going to talk for 13 minutes. Okay. 6 of Swords. Okay. 6 of Swords. So the feeling that I'm getting from this card is that also with this energy, this kind of like in-between energy, we're moving on from whatever this was, and perhaps if there was, you know, kind of like a hang up and a hold up, and you were in a situation again to allow you this access to, you know, change things up so you could have this access, that it's kind of wrapping up. We're kind of moving on from whatever this is. And there's a couple different messages with this. One, we're starting to move out of the situation that was catalyzing the change. Okay, it's starting to kind of like wrap up and heal. But the other message is that we're literally also moving on from this energy, this lower timeline of conditioning and shoulds and whatever patterns we might have been trapped in, mental obviously everything starts with the mental patterns, with the consciousness, whatever our state of consciousness was, whatever we just took for granted and assumed as real and went about as rote. It's like that's just kind of being turned on its head. There's no going back to this. There's no going back in the same way. If we do go back to the routines and the patterns, we're completely changed. We've had our enlightenment, our awakening. We've had this snap on, this click on. We've accessed this higher mind. And again, the overall energy was this, the learn from the past. It's like, this is another indicator of like, we're moving on. There's no going back to this because we've learned. So what is learning but completing a level, like what I was talking about before? We have these lessons, and once we learn, we're done. We're done with this. We're done with these lessons. We're done with whatever these trials are. But it's presenting in the form of almost like, how sometimes it's interesting because sometimes the trials are really fiery and that kind of like phoenix energy where you just feel really hot and trapped. This is like a trapped in sort of like the density, trapped in the consciousness, trapped in a way of being. And what I'm feeling from this is like, and we'll see what other card comes out to support this, but this is, let me see if I can get the words right. I want to do it justice. This came up in one of the other readings. Like, this is such a huge shift. And I'm curious, I guess, we'll just see what other cards come out. I'm not going to pull a card yet. I'm going to try to land this, just what I'm feeling from this energy. It's such a huge shift, the in-between. Okay. The shift from this to this, any of the other cards would do, from the beginning of the reading. The shift from this to this is so huge, but it's final. Again, it's final because we've learned. We've done that lesson. We've jumped that platform. It's been turned on its head, and we're moving on. We're moving on from this. It's such a huge shift that, let me just get another card. Help me find my words to describe this that I'm feeling. Yeah, there we go. The Fool. Okay, it's like a brand new beginning. This is 0 point. It's like starting all over again. So even if we go back to some of these patterns or some of these energy, like I don't want to say I can't wait because I'm present in the moment. Of course, I want to be here for my daughter, but another part of me wants to go back up to the town that I'm at and be able to like go to the co-op and like go to the forest and swim in there. I want to get back to those things I normally do. Okay, even if I go back to those things, if we go back to these things, okay, and maybe you don't want to go back to these things. Maybe you're just completely done with this pattern altogether, but you might still be living in the same house or having the same job or the same friends or whatever. We go back as a brand new person. You go back completely renewed because you've reached that 0 point. You've reached that point of neutrality where it was like a cyber blast. Okay, that's the analogy that I wanted to find when I was trying to read this energy. Wow. And even like, look at this card. It's almost like she waves her hand above these clouds and it just like ripples out. It ripples out and it changes everything. Like it clears everything. And all of a sudden you're reborn. This is like a rebirth card. This is zero. It's a 0 point field where everything is possible. You're the universe's favorite child. You get to just walk around. You just get to walk around right now. And this is also a 0 point field because we're in between this and that. We're in between these two things. But what happens in that moment is a moment of alchemy where there's that cyber blast, the horn is, look at this, there's like these ripples. I don't know if you can see them. There are like these, you probably can't see them, excuse me, there are like these ripples around her though that go out. This is like a brand new timeline, a brand new trajectory. Okay, this is on the horizon. We might be feeling it now. I'm feeling it now. We're still in this in-between place. Look at the colors, how the colors of these match. Okay, yeah, they really match. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's the same artist, but it's a different deck. Okay, so there's all this, I don't know if you can see it, there's all this kind of like network geometry in the background. Same thing here, and these same kind of colors, same kind of energy from them, but she's very young, right? She's very young. This is like your higher self, your future self. This just like, we're gonna start, we're gonna start this journey. We're gonna be kind of young and small, but it's the same energy as her, the higher self on the earth. Here we are, anchoring on the earth, Capricorn. Capricorn, the manifester, pulling this higher self energy down through the work that you've done, through that 0 point field, planting it on the earth as you do. This is your job as a cardinal earth sign, you know, planting this energy, planting this higher energy that you've earned and worked for lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. You're ancient. You'll have a memory. Your soul remembers all of it. Your soul remembers why you're here. You're here to plant these higher frequencies on the earth and to walk them, to live them in your life. I have chills. Oh my gosh, that was 20 minutes already. Are we ending already? It just felt like we're just getting started. Oh, there's some dragonflies playing. Wow, playing together. Yeah, it's like the end of the illusion. The end of the illusion. It's popped. The illusion has popped. The illusion has popped. Here. It's like this energy. I don't know if you can see it. It's around her like a bubble. And it's like as she blows that horn, it just sends these ripples out. Sends these ripples out in service to the others, in service to humanity, because you're anchoring this. You're in your body. You're embodied as an earth sign. You're embodied. You're bringing it forward as a cardinal sign. You're bringing this forward in service to humanity. Okay, you're sending out these ripples from all the hard work that you've done. I'm gonna pull. Did I even pull from my wizard's deck yet? I'm gonna pull. I might have had one card from there. I'm gonna pull from the wizard's deck and just get 1 or 2 more cards. Oh, interesting. They keep falling. This usually doesn't happen. It's like there's a lot popping off for Capricorn right now. Okay, this is like rebirthing energy. 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups. Okay, so union with yourself, but like the ending message is also you're really poised to draw in matches to that self-union. So, you know, obviously this is a relationship card and we can apply that, but you know, I don't like to make like every reading about relationships just because that's what people want. If it applies to you, great. But this is also like the mirror, you know, the sacred mirror. So because you're so in alignment, because you're embarking on this new adventure, you pull in everything that's in alignment and is a match to you, whether that's a person, whether it's a friend, whether it's friends, business partner, opportunities, you know, opportunities, abundance, you know, whatever it is that is a match to you and your level of being and consciousness in this world, you know. So that's a beautiful ending message, that encouragement of like not only are you entering into this, you've reached this new level, but everything else starts flooding in because of this. I'm going to pull one more off the bottom of this deck. Okay, 5 of Air. That's kind of a strange turn to take as the ending message, but let's just go with it. Okay, so 5 of Air, you know, this is kind of like a conflict card, an inner conflict where you're comparing yourself to others or worrying about hurting others or worrying about others hurting you. Okay, so maybe this is the energy, maybe it's just another indication of the energy that we're really done with, that you're really done with and moving on from. Okay, these 2 cards here, you know, this is that lower timeline, that lower frequency. But, you know, I know we're at 22 minutes, but I'm just going to keep going. There's this other message that keeps coming up in the reading, and so this might be trying to come up again right now. Wanted to fall on the floor again. 7 of Swords. Yep, there it is again. Okay, this kind of strategizing energy, using the mind to lead. Okay, let's see what this one flew out as well. And then the Ace of Cups. So, okay, it's like this purification. I think that when we were talking about, I think this is just going deeper into when I was talking about the service. And, okay, it's clear to me now. I was like, why are we going into that? This isn't your energy. This isn't your energy. You're done with that. You're done with that. Okay, this is the other people, because we were talking about the service. We were talking about the ripples that you're sending out. This is the these are the people that you're helping, the people that are still in this energy, the people that still feel like they have to hustle. They have to hustle. You're in this purity. Remember how we were talking about when you come into that sovereignty, truth of reality becomes very simple, where all you need is this. You have everything that you need, but all you need is your inner alignment. These are the people that are still in that energy of like, I have to kind of like hustle to get on top because somebody else might get what's mine, or I have to like, instead of just trusting the natural flow of things because you're the Fool and you're in alignment with this higher energy, you know, you feel you have to, you know, just like try to control so that somebody else doesn't get hurt, and you're interfering with other people's destiny and sacred path. You're not in this energy. This is the other people's energy. This is you, that pure otter, that pure alignment. We can have that pure alignment when we come into this. This is another one like this. Come into this simplicity. You come into the simplicity, and this energy can flood in because you have access to it. Okay, so just the final message being, again, one of ending on service, where you are this energy just walking around on the earth. You're transmitting this. You're transmitting this purity. You're transmitting these God codes. This is something that's collective as well. I'm seeing this in a lot of the readings, where a lot of people that are at a certain, if you're listening to these readings, then we're on a similar edge of the wave, right? So we're leading the way. We're anchoring these codes. We're being of service to others. So a lot of people that have been at this for a really long time, for a really long time, are starting to access this higher energy. Not just access it, but embody it and transmit it. So this, in this moment for me, is a transmission card, where you're transmitting this and you're sending these ripples out in service to the others who are still in this energy. Okay, and it's not coming from a place of, trying to fix things for people or trying to make anybody see anything. No, it's literally, you're just transmitting this energy because it's who you are. It's the frequency that you've anchored. You've anchored in your own field. You've anchored in your body. Literally, all you have to do is walk around and you transmit these codes. They're invisible. They're rippling out, just like her. Okay, where is she? Where's the in-between? You're walking in between two worlds. You have your higher consciousness. Your higher mind is all lit up. It's with you, but you're also embodied here. You're embodied here on the earth in service, and you're just emanating. You're rippling out all these codes, and the energy of embodiment, the energy of an integrated person that's done the work and that's come into alignment. Okay, so so beautiful, because again, we all know there are so many people that are still in this energy, and I think a lot of us earlier on in the journey wanted to like save them or like help them see or whatever, and it's like now at this point in our evolutions, we're just literally walking around with what we've awakened in our own heart and in our own mind, and transmitting. Capricorn got the longest reading of all the readings I've done. This is my first rotation around the signs. I started with collective readings down during astrology, but I am a Capricorn, so there it is. Anyway, beautiful message to end on. This is you. This is your service. Just you being you. You being you after all the hard work that you've done and being in service that way. So thank you, Capricorn. Thank you, Capricorn tribe. I look forward to seeing you next time if you join me again for the next reading. Okay, take care. Thanks for listening.